Hey everyone, it's me, Lily. I'm sitting here in my room, staring at the fairy lights draped across my wall, trying to figure out how my life turned into such a mess. My heart's racing, and I can't stop thinking about what I saw yesterday. I need to tell you this story from the beginning, because it's the only way I can make sense of it. I'm 19, just finished my first year of college, and I thought I had everything under control. My family, my friends, my dreams. But life has a way of throwing curveballs, doesn't it? It all started yesterday afternoon. I was at the park near our house, the one with the big oak tree where I used to swing as a kid. I was meeting my best friend, Mia, to catch up. Mia's been my rock since we were 6, when she shared her glitter crayons with me in art class. She's the kind of person who lights up a room. Curly brown hair, a laugh that makes everyone smile, and this fearless vibe that I've always envied. We were supposed to talk about her new job at the bookstore and my plans to study abroad next semester. But when I got to the park, Mia wasn't alone. I saw her sitting on a bench, her head tilted back, laughing. Next to her was a guy, tall with dark hair and a leather jacket. They looked close, too close. My stomach twisted because I recognized him instantly. It was Jake, my sister Emma's boyfriend. Emma's 21, 2 years older than me. And she's been with Jake for almost a year. They're the kind of couple everyone envies, always posting cute photos on Instagram, holding hands, whispering to each other like they're in their own little world. Seeing Jake with Mia felt like a punch to the gut. I ducked behind a tree, my heart pounding. I didn't want them to see me. I watched as Jake leaned in and tucked a strand of Mia's hair behind her ear. She smiled, her cheeks turning pink. My mind was racing. Was this a misunderstanding? Maybe they were just friends hanging out. But then Jake leaned closer and they kissed. Not a quick peck, a real kiss, the kind that says more than words ever could. I felt sick. My best friend and my sister's boyfriend. How could this be happening? I turned and ran home, my sneakers pounding against the pavement. I didn't stop until I reached my room, where I collapsed on my bed, tears streaming down my face. I kept replaying the scene in my head, hoping I'd gotten it wrong, but I hadn't. Mia and Jake were together, and they were hiding it from everyone, especially Emma. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Emma. She's always been the strong one in our family, the one who takes care of everyone. When our mom got sick a few years ago, Emma was the one who stayed up late researching treatments, making sure Mom ate, driving her to appointments. She's tough, but she's also got this huge heart. Jake was the first guy she really let in. The first one she trusted after everything we'd been through. If she found out about this, it would break her. I thought about confronting Mia or Jake, but I didn't know how. Mia's my best friend. She knows everything about me, from my biggest fears to my dumbest crushes. How could she do this? And Jake? I never really trusted him. He's charming, sure, but there's always been something about him that felt off. Like he's playing a part. I wanted to scream, to tell someone, but I couldn't. Not yet. I needed to figure out what to do first. The next morning, I woke up with a headache and a heavy heart. I dragged myself to the kitchen, where Emma was making pancakes. She was humming, her blonde hair tied up in a messy bun, looking so happy it made my chest ache. "Morning, Lil," she said, flipping a pancake. "Want some?" "I made extra for you." I forced a smile. "Sure, thanks." I sat at the table, watching her move around the kitchen. She was talking about her new art project. She's studying graphic design, and how Jake was coming over later to help her brainstorm ideas. Every time she mentioned his name, I felt like I was going to throw up. I wanted to tell her right then, but the words wouldn't come. How do you tell your sister something that'll shatter her world? After breakfast, I decided to talk to Mia. I needed answers. I texted her, "Hey, can we meet?" "I need to talk." She replied almost instantly, "Sure." "Coffee shop at 2?" Her cheerful tone made me angry. How could she act so normal after what she was doing? At the coffee shop, Mia was already there, sipping a latte. She waved me over, her smile as bright as ever. "Lily, I missed you!" she said, hugging me. I stiffened, but she didn't seem to notice. We sat down, and she started talking about her job, the book she was reading, everything but the elephant in the room. I couldn't take it anymore. Mia, I interrupted, my voice shaky. I saw you yesterday, at the park, with Jake. Her smile froze. For a second, she looked like a deer caught in headlights. Then she laughed, but it sounded forced. What? Oh, that was nothing. We were just hanging out. Don't lie to me, I said, leaning forward. I saw you kiss him. How could you do this to Emma? To me? Mia's face crumpled. She looked down at her coffee, her fingers tightening around the cup. Lily, I didn't mean for this to happen, she whispered. It just did. What does that even mean? I asked, my voice rising. A few people glanced our way, but I didn't care. You're my best friend. Emma's my sister. How could you? Mia's eyes filled with tears. I've liked Jake for a long time, she admitted. Even before he and Emma got together. I never said anything because I didn't want to hurt her. But then we started talking and, I don't know, Lily, it felt right. Felt right? I repeated, incredulous. He's Emma's boyfriend. You're sneaking around behind her back. I know, Mia said, her voice breaking. I hate myself for it. But I love him, Lily. I've never felt this way before. Her words hit me like a slap. Love. She thought this was love. I wanted to shake her, to make her see how wrong this was. But part of me felt sorry for her. She looked so lost, so broken. I remembered all the times we'd stayed up late talking about our dreams, our fears. Mia had always been there for me. Was I supposed to just throw that away? I left the coffee shop feeling more confused than ever. Mia promised she'd end things with Jake, but I didn't know if I could trust her. I needed to know more about Jake, about why he'd do this. That night, I did something I wasn't proud of. I snooped through Emma's phone while she was in the shower. I found texts between her and Jake, full of hearts and sweet words. But there was something else. A text from a few weeks ago that made my blood run cold. Jake had written, Babe, I'm sorry I've been distant. Work's been crazy, but I promise I'm all yours. Distant. Emma hadn't mentioned anything about that. Was that when he started seeing Mia? Over the next few days, I kept my distance from both Mia and Emma. I couldn't look at either of them without feeling guilty. I was carrying this huge secret, and it was eating me up inside. I started noticing little things about Emma. She seemed quieter, like she was carrying a weight of her own. I wondered if she suspected something about Jake, but I was too scared to ask. One night, I was in the living room watching TV when my mom sat down next to me. She's been doing better since her treatment, but she still gets tired easily. You okay, sweetheart? She asked, brushing my hair back. You've been awfully quiet lately. I wanted to tell her everything, but I didn't know where to start. Instead, I blurted out, Mom, do you think people can change? Like, really change? She looked at me, her eyes soft. Sometimes, she said, but it takes a lot of work. Why do you ask? I hesitated, then said, I found out something about someone I care about. Something bad. And I don't know what to do. Mom was quiet for a moment. Then she said, When I was your age, I had a friend who betrayed me. It hurt, Lily, more than I can say. But I learned that people make mistakes. Sometimes they're worth forgiving, and sometimes they're not. You have to decide what's best for you. Her words stuck with me, but they didn't make things any clearer. I kept thinking about Mia and Jake, about how their betrayal was tearing me apart. I decided to dig deeper. I started asking around, subtly, about Jake. I talked to his friend Ryan, who I knew from high school. Ryan was hesitant at first, but after a bit of prodding, he dropped a bombshell. Jake's not who you think he is, Ryan said, looking uncomfortable. He's got a past, Lily. He was in some trouble a few years back, nothing major, but he's not exactly a saint. What kind of trouble? I pressed. Ryan sighed. He got caught up with some bad people. Lied a lot, hurt some folks. He says he's changed, but I don't know. Be careful, okay? I felt like the ground was shifting beneath me. Jake had a past? Did Emma know? I went home and confronted her carefully. How much do you know about Jake's life before you met him? I asked. She frowned. Enough, why? Just curious, I said, chickening out. But her answer told me she didn't know the whole story. I was more determined than ever to protect her, even if it meant losing Mia. A week later, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to confront Jake. I found out he was working at a garage downtown, so I went there after class. My hands were shaking as I walked in, the smell of oil and metal hitting me. Jake was under a car, his boots sticking out. "Jake?" I called. He slid out, wiping his hands on a rag. "Lily, what's up?" I took a deep breath. "I know about you and Mia." His face didn't change, but his eyes flickered. "What are you talking about?" "Don't play dumb," I said, my voice trembling. "I saw you two at the park. You're cheating on Emma." Jake stood up, towering over me. For a second, I thought he might get angry, but he just sighed. "It's not what you think," he said. "Mia and I, it's complicated." "Complicated?" I snapped. "You're kissing my best friend behind my sister's back. How is that complicated?" He ran a hand through his hair. "Look, I care about Emma, I do, but Mia, she gets me in a way Emma doesn't. I didn't plan this, Lily. It just happened." I wanted to scream. "You don't get to hurt my sister. Because you didn't plan it. You need to tell her the truth. Or I will." Jake's jaw tightened. "You don't know the whole story. Emma's not perfect either, you know." "What's that supposed to mean?" I demanded. He shook his head. "Forget it, just give me some time, okay? I'll figure this out." I left the garage feeling worse than before. Jake's words about Emma not being perfect stuck with me. What was he talking about? I went home and found Emma in her room, sketching. Can we talk?" I asked. She looked up, surprised. "Sure, what's wrong?" I sat on her bed, my heart pounding. "Is everything okay with you and Jake?" Her smile faltered. "Why do you ask?" I've noticed you've been quiet lately. And I heard some stuff about Jake. I'm worried." Emma set her sketchbook down. "What kind of stuff?" I took a deep breath and told her everything. About seeing Jake and Mia, about what Ryan said, about my confrontation with Jake. I left out the part about Jake's comment. Though, I wanted to hear her side first. Emma's face went pale. She didn't say anything for a long time, just stared at her hands. Finally, she whispered, "I knew something was wrong. He's been so distant lately. But Mia, how could she do this?" I reached for her hand, tears in my eyes. "I'm so sorry, Em. I didn't know how to tell you." She pulled away, standing up. "I need to talk to him now." Emma called Jake and asked him to come over. I stayed in my room, listening through the wall as their voices rose. I couldn't make out the words, but I could hear the pain in Emma's voice, the anger in Jake's. It went on for hours, until the front door slammed and everything went quiet. I found Emma in the living room, curled up on the couch, her eyes red. "He admitted it," she said, her voice hollow. "He's been seeing Mia for 2 months. He says he loves her." I sat next to her, my heart breaking. "I'm so sorry, Em." She shook her head. "It's not your fault. I should have seen it. I knew he was pulling away, but I didn't want to believe it." "What did he mean about you not being perfect?" I asked, unable to hold back. Emma's eyes widened. "He said that?" I nodded. "When I confronted him, he said something about you not being perfect either." Emma looked away, her jaw tight. "There's something I haven't told you," she said finally. "A few months ago, I kissed someone else. It was a mistake, Lily. I was drunk and I regretted it right away. I told Jake because I didn't want to keep secrets. He said he forgave me, but I guess he didn't." I stared at her, shocked. Emma had cheated too? My perfect sister, the one I looked up to, had made the same kind of mistake? I didn't know what to say. Part of me was angry, but mostly I just felt sad. We were all so flawed, so human. The next day, I tried calling Mia, but she didn't answer. I went to her house, but her mom said she was out. I left a note. We need to talk. Please. I didn't know if I could forgive her, but I needed to understand why she'd done this. I needed to know if our friendship was worth saving. As I walked home, I thought about how much had changed in just a few days. My sister's heart was broken. My best friend was a stranger, and I was stuck in the middle, trying to hold it all together. I didn't know what would happen next, but I knew one thing for sure. This wasn't the end of the story. There was more to come, more secrets to uncover, more hearts to mend or break.